Hello friends, welcome to Get My University. I am your host Anuj Goyal. Welcome to this session of Samvad. At Samvad, we discuss various aspects of education, the realities and the challenges the students has to face while they are going for the medical education in any respective college outside India or within India. Today, in this series, I have a very important guest with me, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis is pursuing his medicine MD from one of the topmost medical colleges of the Philippines, Ateneo School of Medicine and Public Health, Manila. Mr. Lewis has a very diverse background at startups and various hackathons. And Mr. Lewis is a very bright scholar with 99% score at his NMATs. So, welcome, Mr. Lewis. Welcome to this session of Samvad. It's been a privilege to have you as a guest at this session of Samvad.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. So, Mr. Lewis, you had a very enriched experience, and you have applied for your medicine in the topmost medical colleges of the Philippines. When I say topmost, you have applied at University of Santo Thomas, you have applied at University of Philippines, and you have applied at Ateneo School of Medicine. So how has been your journey so far, and what has been your learnings in this whole process and finally landing to Ateneo School of Medicine?
Well, it's been a very rocky road because I think no matter what background you come from, the adjustment into medical school can be a very difficult one, especially when you're not used to the pace of learning in medical school. Because even though I took a undergraduate degree, the pacing of medical school is still way faster, and there's a lot of self-study that I had to do in order outside of lecture in order to make sure I actually understood the material. Because the material itself isn't conceptually hard. It's just that there's just so much to learn in such a short amount of time. Like an entire semester's worth of lectures can be summed up in a single 1-hour lecture, and I have to understand three of those before my next exam. So the pace is just really fast, and I had to really improve and make my study techniques way more efficient so that I could keep up at that pace.
Right. So a lot of students plan to pursue their medicine student at the Philippines, and as far as my understanding goes, it's a very beautiful country with very beautiful people and a very welcoming country. From a local perspective, you being a Filipino, how do you rate the medical education system of the Philippines, and what is the correlation of the Philippines medical education system or the overall education system with the American education system? Would like to elaborate from you.
Okay, so from my perspective, as far as the medical education goes in the Philippines, we're probably top notch in terms of quality of doctors that we produce. Because although we're not up there with a lot of the American universities and other Western universities who are constantly at the top 100 medical schools in the world, as a developing country, we don't have access to all the high quality machinery and technology that the Western countries have. So we have to really refine and sharpen our medical skills. So our clinical eye is probably second to none within the international community, and a lot of doctors abroad really respect that. And as far as comparing our medical education to the US in terms of our curriculum, I think our education here, our curriculums, many of the medical schools here are patterned after the American universities, as opposed to the British system where you can go into medical school right after your secondary school. Here in the Philippines, you have to take a undergraduate degree at any university before applying to medical school, because our medical school here is considered a graduate school. So for me, I took my 4 years undergraduate degree, usually 4 to 5 years for undergrad, and then right after graduating, I applied to medical school, which will be another 4 to 5 years, depending on which school you go to.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, when a student from India, when he plans for their medical education in Philippines, one word which really strike them hard is NMAT exam, right? And there is a lot of misconceptions also being provided by many people, and there's a lot of confusion about the NMAT exam. Now you are one of the live, I'll say one of the most prominent faces that I can talk to with 99% NMAT score. So if you can help us understand what is this NMAT exam, what is the need of this NMAT exam, and how the exam is being planned.
Okay, so the NMAT exam is basically the it's like the national medical education test that is conducted to any aspiring medical student who wants to study here in the Philippines. So it can be likened to any college entrance exam that you can have, SAT, MCAT, like it's just a standardized exam that anyone who wants to apply to medical school here in the Philippines has to take. That is a non-negotiable for any medical school because it's required by our government. So the test is basically divided into two portions. A aptitude portion, which is I liken to an IQ test because it tests more of your innate intelligence. Although that you can practice some skills to do well in it, it tests more of your innate intelligence. And then there's a second portion, which is the more sciences, the subject-based ones, which they test the three major natural sciences: biology, physics, and chemistry, and then the social sciences combined into one test. So psychology, anthropology, and sociology. And having taken it, I don't consider the test that hard. If there are people saying that it's a really hard exam, it's not really that hard. I would liken it more to like A levels, like the British A levels in terms of difficulty, or your GCSEs, because it's something that that you could learn within your first year of college here in the Philippines in terms of like the subject matter that is mostly covered. You could like reasonably do well with even just 1 year of college under your belt.
Okay, cool. So, how's the evaluation pattern? Like NMAT exam gives you percentile, right? And what is the basis of calculation of percentile? So, and how a person can really work so as to get a desired percentile.
Okay, so how the percentile rank works is the NMAT doesn't grade you on your absolute score.
Okay.
Rather, it grades you how well you perform relative to everyone else who took the exam the same time you did. So for me, when I say I got 99th percentile, that means I did better than 99%
People.
of all the other takers who
Yeah.
took it during the time I did. So, for example, if there were 100 people who took the exam and I scored in the 99th percentile, I'd be the top one out of those 100 because the remaining 99 would represent the remaining 99%. And obviously, like that's not the case in NMAT. There are thousands of people who take it every year. So scale that up to a few thousand of student applicants every session. So how they calculate it is if you're familiar with statistics, you're graded on you're ranked on a curve. So like if you just Google bell curve, it'll show you'll see that there'll be two halves. There's one to the right of the 50% mark and another half left to the 50% mark. And most people will score in the middle, which is the peak of that curve. And so the higher you score, the more to the right you'll be of
Okay.
that curve. And how they determine that is how many items you get correct in the exam relative to your peers. And I think I'm not sure if this applies if they will do it per exam. But my idea is that you want to perform well overall in every single exam because they'll give you a general performance score which will determine your percentile rank. So I don't have to like be the best at chemistry or be the best at physics. I just need to do well overall score in a higher percentile graph compared to someone who scored in the 99 percentile in one subject but did poorly in all the others. So my advice to people who study for the exam is to make sure you're reasonably adept at all the subjects, because you want to make yourself balance in terms of your performance per subject.
Louis, so because you have already experienced this whole scenario of ANMAT, can you help our Indian friends or Indian aspirants, a lot of them, in identifying some resources? Though I'll put it in the description box, one you will suggest me, but some ready reckoner or resources or about review center, so that they can make it more easy for it and it can be helpful for them.
For resources, I think well, in my opinion, the best resources when studying for the NMAT are the free ones, because you want, as medical school, even though it's cheap in the Philippines, you want to save as much money as you can get. So if you can study, if you can prepare for the NMAT for free, that is probably the best way to go. For me, the best free resources that I could find were actually review materials for the MCAT, which is the medical entrance exam of the US, because they provided a lot of I found this website where they could where they listed out all the important go-to equations for the chemistry and physics portions of the exam. So like what I did is that I just took them all to memory, because what I found in the NMAT is that a lot of the questions in the chemistry and physics were just basically applications of those equations. So if you knew the equation and how to use it, you can just basically plug in the variables they provide, and then you'll just come up with the answer, and it'll be quite easy. And as for some of the more as for the paid materials, as for the other free materials, like probably the most important review material you can have as a prepare for the NMAT are the practice exams. And I think probably one of the best resources for practice exams you can get is the one provided by CEM, which is the company that conducts the NMAT every year. And they usually provide one NMAT one mock exam for free every year. But if if that's not enough, you can probably just Google for ones. Like you can just search NMAT mock exam on Google, and you'll probably find plenty of websites that allow you to download some. And there's, I think, also a blog that also offers NMAT exams, and that offers free NMAT mock exams specific to certain subjects, so you can check those out. I'll give the links to Anuj here, so you can access it. And as for the paid ones, there are books that you can buy. I'm not sure if they can ship to India, but you can just Google MSA NMAT Review. That's one of the big review centers here in the Philippines, and they publish review books that have a lot of practice questions with the explanations to the answers. So I find that's a helpful resource. That's what a lot of my friends used when they were reviewing. And like when I borrowed theirs, it's like, oh, this is a good resource. And I think it's probably one of the gold standards when it comes to when you're just self-studying for the NMAT. And then as for like paid resources, I think physical review centers used to be very popular. I went to one when I was preparing for the NMAT, but like given the pandemic, I don't think those are really a viable option for any student.
Yeah.
But I think there have been online NMAT tutorial centers that have become operational over the course of the pandemic. There's one that I recently found. There's one that I've recently been seeing making the rounds on Facebook from students from the UP College of Medicine, and I think they structured it in such a way they like multiple lectures that you can watch at your own pace, and I think it's really incredible because if it's a student for the UP College of Medicine, they're basically the best among the best of the best when it comes to medical students here in the Philippines. So you can't really doubt the quality there. And they're also, if you look hard enough, you can also probably find some students doing it on their own. But probably as it comes to a trusted platform, I'll probably recommend the one
Wonderful. I mean, it's been a wonderful insight, Louis. Uh, there has to be a strong reason. There has to be a strong, I'll say, why. When you decide to be a doctor, right? And medicine cannot be a field which does not come with a very strong self-propelled, reason. Over here, I would like you to give a message, right, with from your experience, like why did you chose to be a doctor and to serve your country. So what is your message to the aspiring medical students, right, about you know about choosing medicine, number one, and probably choosing Philippines, number two, as a potential medical destination.
Okay, so for as for why I want to become a doctor, it's because mainly my upbringing really emphasized being able to help people because I went to a religious institution for most of my primary and secondary school. So they really imparted us to be people who help the less fortunate. So that's first. And then the second is that I really have a love for science. So when it came to choosing what career options I'd have, it came as a no-brainer that combining my love for science and my want to help people, I think medicine seemed like the most natural choice. And I think that reason, like my wanting to help people with my skills and knowledge in science, is what drives me in medicine. Because like medical school is a really tough time. Like if you're going there for the wrong reasons, like oh I want to become rich and famous, I want the prestige of become a doctor. Like that's probably a reason you shouldn't become a doctor because it takes so long to reach
Yes.
that level of reward within this profession. Because you study for 5 years and then you still have to go through residency and additional training to even reach that pinnacle of reputation within the medical industry. So if those are like if you have vain reasons for going there, the medicine is probably not for you because it's a very tough process. You have to study long hours. There will be times where you'll have to sacrifice sleep or sacrifice time with your loved ones. You have to sacrifice time for things that you normally do, like sports,
Yeah.
video games, and other hobbies. So because like when you enter this career path, I think medicine has to be almost your number one priority. And you can't there'll be times where your motivations will be called into question, like when you have a big exam coming up, or like no matter how or you stumble on the path where like you failed a big exam and then like you're starting no, even though you studied hard and then you start to question like is this really for you? But like if you have that inner fire where like I really want to become a doctor no matter what because I want to achieve X, Y, and Z, then I think that's the time you know that medicine is for you. And as for the Philippines, I think the Philippines is a good option to study medicine in because, especially for international students, for one, it's an English-speaking country. So, if you're since English is quite an international language,
Yeah.
like you won't have a hard time adapting to the just sitting and learning here. Probably the only challenge will be learning the local language because you need to really speak the local language in order to communicate with the patients during your time here. And then after that is like medical education here is relatively cheaper compared to other countries. Because,
India, especially India.
Even just comparing to the United States. The United States medical education in general is very expensive there. So you like even in my school where there's a lot of I have a lot of classmates who are from American universities who decided to pursue their medical degree here because it's more cost efficient for them. And as you can see in the statistic, there are a lot of doctors who do end up taking step one and of the USMLE and getting positions within hospitals in the US. So just from that, you can see that the quality of medical education here is enough to be on par with that of Western universities.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mr. Lewis. You have explained it so beautifully, and I'm so thankful to you. I must request my audience right? So many thousands of students to please. I'll just share the channel link of Mr. Lewis. Please subscribe to his channel, and you will find so much of information. While because he himself is a YouTuber, and he being a med school, he tries to share so much of knowledge right through this channel and through this beautiful platform. Please go through the deep dive sessions of Mr. Lewis, whereby he has interacted with so many students from topmost medical colleges of Philippines, understand the perspective, get to know the reasons, and get to know the way they are pursuing the medical education. I am sure this will give you the right insight, and this will give you the right pathway to being a good doctor, and especially if you're planning to choose a medicine program for Philippines. Once again, Mr. Lois, thank you very, very much. And I know you have a very tight schedule being a medical student, but yes, for this interaction with our students, I really appreciate the time that you have taken. And thank you again for this. And hopefully I hope this is not the last session. I aspire to have some more sessions with you, and really our audience would like to listen from you.
Thank you so much. I look forward to working with you again.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Say hello to GMU, the one-stop shop for all your admission needs. We introduce you to the finest universities and help find the best fit based on your profile. We help with applications and assist with documentation, visas, and even accommodation. With over a decade's worth of experience, 40 university partners in 10 countries worldwide, and more than 5,000 satisfied students, GMU does it all. Fix a meeting with us today.